All right, we're gonna get it going. This is Tyra here, 918 Truths. I am with Clixae.
Yo, what it do, y'all?
So
Dang, that sounded country.
we're here in Gypsy Coffee. We just got done performing at Festception. It was hosted by SIYLA here at Mayfest.
Yo, what it do, y'all? My name is Clixae. That's spelled Clixae. I'm everywhere. I'm literally everywhere. Like, find me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I retweet a lot.
Nice.
You know,
Twitter.
yeah,
Okay.
YouTube. Yeah, like you can literally Google the name, and I'm the only thing that pops up because I spell it so weird on purpose. You know, so it's intentional. So yeah.
The first time I met Clixae, we were at Ground Waves, and I was like, "Yo, dude, I have a song called Clixae," and then it was just a moment for us.
yeah.
But he's here from Oklahoma City. How'd you get into coming down here to Tulsa?
To Tulsa from today or for just in general?
For in general, and you're from Michigan.
No, close. You're
okay,
close.
Okay, because you said Dolph
Memphis.
is a young Dolph.
Yeah, Memphis.
Memphis. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. All right, podcast is over.
The podcast is not over. This is part of the podcast.
My geography is fucked up. Okay.
This is part of it.
Okay, Memphis.
Yeah.
I feel bad that I just disrespected everybody
No,
from
you
Memphis.
didn't.
R.I.P. for real.
You didn't. That's all good. Yeah, so I ended up out here. So this is my story on how I ended up out in Oklahoma, right? So high school was over. I was planning to go to community college out there and then transfer to a 4-year.
In Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis. That's what typically everybody does,
Right.
like if they haven't taken their like school serious, and I tried to fit in too much. And so after a little bit, my grandma was basically like, "Hey, like you should go to Langston." And I was like, I don't want to go. Like, I'm dating somebody. I'm 18 now. I ain't got to do what y'all tell me for real, you know? And she was like, "You're dumb." I'm like, all right, cool. Then my aunt called and just basically just pointed out some facts on, like, it just made a lot of sense after she pointed all that stuff out to me. And so I was like, all right, cool, I'm going to go. So I came here to Oklahoma City, and been out here ever since. I was going to try to move again to a bigger city, but bigger cities require bigger pockets, you know what I'm saying? And I like to have a little bit more flexibility. I like more flexibility financially, you know what I'm saying? So I decided to stay out here, and I'm glad I stayed. You know what I'm saying? Oklahoma is like on a really good upswing, in my opinion, you know? A lot of people from the big cities are moving out here now. And some people that talk about like Oklahoma ain't got nothing to do. Well, in my opinion, I think because there's not a lot of things cemented here, it gives people a lot of room to create festivals, especially when the summer comes. Like, people can do what they want. It's like a blank canvas. You know what I'm saying? The only downside about Oklahoma is the weather. That's the only downside to me. The weather. That's it.
In what way?
The tornadoes.
Okay.
Yes. And the just not knowing. The weather don't know what it want to do.
Yeah, this week has been odd.
Yes.
Very odd.
So
let me touch on that. I love that you said that about Oklahoma, because I moved here from Dallas, a bigger city.
Oh,
and
I know that.
Yeah, I love it here so much. And it's just, I don't know, it's really inspiring to just, I was talking to Terrace about this, and she called it conquerable. It's very, like, it's just easy to navigate. Like, it's easy to be here. Everyone's really supportive, and you can build things. I feel like we've been a part of a lot of things that are pretty new. And, forming together.
Yeah,
So.
I agree, because I mean, there's good and bad with big cities. You know what I'm saying? As I get older, I don't even think I'll really take full advantage of being in a big city, to be honest.
The pod track died, so now I need, rechargeable batteries. But we're still here with Clixae. Tell us about what we were even talking about. Forgot. I'm so sorry.
The last thing I remember us talking about was like the aspects of like big city, little city. I was just talking about like I think that me personally, if I move to a bigger city, I don't think I would really take full advantage of it. Given the fact that as I've gotten older, I'm way more chill. That's it. And so unless it's like music related, something like this, I'll go to. But if it's like Coachella, I might go to Coachella. I've never been. But if it was like a Coachella every weekend, I wouldn't be out there every weekend. Like the typical scenes, I probably wouldn't be. And so I don't know how much of an advantage it would be for me based off how I move now. So that's all I was saying, really. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, and also because I know you said you're from Dallas, right? Yeah, the aspect of travel is way easier, and that, man, everything's close. I remember one time I was in Dallas, bro, visiting some cousins. All I wanted was some pizza. I was hungry. It was like, I think it was like maybe like 5 or 10 minutes away. It took me 40 minutes to get there because of traffic. Because of traffic, bro. I was like, never again. Never again.
Okay, so you have music that you make, that you like to make. I know we were kind of chatting about your other hobbies, so like your interviews. Also tell us about your music, what type of music you make, and then like your other side, your, I guess, side hobbies that you do.
So let's go down a list. All right, so I'll talk about the music stuff first. Music stuff I like to do, I just like to make stuff that I like. I like to make stuff that I wish that the artists I like would make. And since they're not making it, I make it. So that's kind of like my aim whenever I'm aiming to go and like make a song or something, or I try to create a vibe like, man, like I don't want to make it seem like I'm like really thinking like, man, I wish J. Cole would do this. Like I'm not sitting there like that, but it's like, all right, man, it'd be kind of cool because my style is pretty similar to theirs, not trying to copy or nothing like that. But when you're doing your music thing, I mean, while you're like finding your way, you tend to kind of like look at others as examples. That's with everything. That's how we grow up and learn. We look at parents and older people and be like, oh, they crossed the street without looking both ways, so maybe I should do the same thing. They freaking, kicked a pigeon. Maybe I should too. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. And so, so that's kind of what I aim for when I make things, and it just kind of does its own thing. And then I try to go off the premise of just, well, I'll say this. Lately, I've been really in the space of just having more faith in what I'm making and not like really being so critical, and just kind of just being in the space of like God gave me the ability to do this thing. Have faith that what he gave me the ability to do will lead me to where I need to go. And in the midst of that, whatever happens with it is going to happen. You know what I mean? And so I'm rambling a little bit, but as far as like stylistically, I'll say I just make like just good vibe music. I go off of vibe. When I'm making songs, I go through beats like it ain't no tomorrow. I just go through beats. And I find something that's like strikes a chord. And then from there, if it strikes a chord with me, I try to see if I can make a cadence, some kind of like melody, something to make it resonate with me. And if I can make something with it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. All I got to do is add words to it now. And so...
Quick. So what you said about having faith in yourself and like the music, I love that because that's what I've been trying to kind of work on. Really like believing in myself. Like the song I did was pretty much about that because yeah, I do believe in God, and I do believe that he gave us these talents and these gifts, and we really just have to, work with it and go with it. So, do you produce your own stuff? No? Okay. So when you start making your, I guess, music, like your process, I guess like you start small, but what are you using?
When you say what I'm using, are you talking about like to look for the beats?
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying you're doing like, you start with like, I guess, I don't know, you said make a cadence after that. So you said you start small.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll just talk about my process and see if that answers the question.
Okay.
So my process, like I like literally, I ain't gonna say dumpster diving, but I just be diving into YouTube. That's all I be doing. Mm-hmm. And YouTube recommends a bunch of whatevers, and so I just click. Yeah, Smino type beat, McJenkins type beat, or whatever. And so whenever we do it or whatever, so I go for the beat or whatever. I just kind of cycle through beats till I find something that catches my ear. Once I find something that catches my ear, that's when I go through the process of like, all right, let me just kind of come up with a cadence like like something simple like that. And then if it resonates enough with me, then I'm like, okay, I can see me making something, and I might not work on it right then, but I'll like put it in like a little category to like set aside and stuff like that. Again, I'm rambling, but I have a really bad habit of of getting excited about a new idea that I move from the current idea and then I leave the current idea undone. And then I'm currently in the space where finishing the project, I did that. And so now it's like I'm always trying to make progress as an artist. So now, since I've halfway done some songs, I'm having to take my mindset back to the space that I was in at that time a little bit. And it's hard to do because, so it's like it's crazy. So I was just like, so it just reminded me that it's really important to finish what you start. If you're really in a space of like creating and you find something that's like really really good, don't wait too long on it. Yeah. So that's kind of like my creative process, and I'm just trying to make sure I be just disciplined with my creative process more than free flowing, because the more free flowy I get, I create a lot of ideas, which is really really good, but they tend to become unfinished ideas. You know what I'm saying? So,
y'all, I am crying in the club right now because this is so true. Like, all of that's so true, and I feel like this is actually helping me more than anything. I do the same thing. Like, I have all these ideas, and I'm like, got so many gifts, and I'm like, but I'm not really honing in because I'm like, it's idea after idea, and I just don't really know where to start. So I just feel like confused all the time. But man, I love that. Like, yeah, finish what you start, because it's hard to go back to a feeling. Then I don't feel as like inspired anymore. But it was a good idea. Like, damn, it's deep, dude. That's deep. I fuck with you. Yeah. I don't even know what to even say anymore. Yeah. This is crazy. Is there anything else you want to share? I feel like you're good. You have a lot of wisdom, and like maybe you can, teach me some things. This is not even an interview anymore.
I appreciate the compliment because I be working on myself. So, you know what I'm saying? It's cool. So, I mean, the only thing I'll say is, I don't know. I ain't gonna try to like really think of nothing deep because I feel like I'm gonna stagger myself. But, whatever you have in your mind to do, just do it. Because what's the worst that's gonna happen from trying? The worst that's gonna happen, you find out that you don't like it, and even if you do like it and somebody else don't like it, it don't matter. Everybody has their own cup of tea, and whatever is meant for you, it'll come. As long as you're being yourself, you'll attract the right people. And I think that's what's wrong with a lot of people. They try to put on a facade to be somebody they're not, which attracts people that they're not really internally aligned with, which creates a lot of conflict within them. And they wonder why they're so tired and exhausted from being around people all the time. It's because they're not being themselves. They're having to put on a facade or front or whatever. So the main thing I would say is be yourself unapologetically, because there's a lot of years I try to be and fit in and all that stuff and try to be somebody I'm not. These days I'm just like, I don't care if you like me. If you do like me, that's cool. When I perform, honestly, I was telling this to Boombox God, Kendra Mars earlier. When I perform and do songs, I go with the premise that people probably won't even like it, and I think that's okay. But that's why I make the songs that I like, because if you don't like it, I like it. So as long as I like it, I can stand behind it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's really important for anybody to really just be like, hey, like, I want to do what I want to do and do it to the best of my capabilities. Now, that does not mean, I know you say you have a lot of gifts and talents and all that stuff. It doesn't mean go from here to there and there to here, because I've done that a lot and stuff like that. So if you have a lot of gifts, the only thing I'll say to you, because you say you have a lot of gifts, a lot of talents, you don't know where to start and then stop, I'll say just you just need to be a little bit more intentional and try to figure out which ones resonate the most with you. Which one is going to bring you the most fulfillment, because that's what matters the most. What's the thing that you can do out of all the things you know how to do that you can do for free, and you won't have no problem with doing that? Music, I can do that for free. Interviewing people and do my interviews or raps, I can do that for free. I like doing that stuff because I like to ask questions. I'm really inquisitive. So it's like, so if you have a lot of things, because we can do anything. If you're willing to learn, you can do anything. As long as you're a learner, you can do anything. So if you have a lot of things you can do, yes. So if you have a lot of things that you know how to do, I would say just kind of let's look through the list of things and be like, hey, out of all these things, which ones would I be willing to do for free that nobody has to pay me for, that I found fulfillment on, and go with that. That I think should be the focus, because if you go with things based off money, it may not necessarily fulfill you. That's why millionaires be committing suicide. You know what I'm saying? Outside of like maybe like putting on the facade thing like we talked about, you know what I mean? And so that's the only thing I'll say. If I have any last words, I'm rambling a lot, talking a lot, but fuck it, it don't matter. That's who I am. It's a motherfucking interview. You feel me? But the only thing that I'll say, like I said, just to recap, be yourself to the fullest of your capabilities, unapologetically. Whatever idea you have, do that shit. And do it to the best of your capabilities. And if you find something you like too, last thing I'll tell you to add to that, if you find something that you like and you know that's the thing you need to do, don't half do it. Don't half step. Commit to the thing. Commit to it. Yes, it's uncomfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. Why is it uncomfortable? Because something you never did. So if you get comfortable with something you never did, what's going to happen? You're going to grow. You're going to get stronger. That's what happens in the gym. You're uncomfortable under that barbell. You know what I'm saying? You're uncomfortable. But the more you do it, the more your body adjusts. You get stronger from that. And then once you get stronger, guess what? You can add more pressure. You can add more weight. You can do more. You know what I'm saying? That's why, man, I'm about to get on a tangent. That's why God don't bless us like that for real. God don't really. A lot of us pray for stuff, but we don't really prepare for the thing we pray for. And then we wondering like why it's taking so long. God's like, hey, bro, like the blessing right over here, bro. All you got to do is get ready, prepare, and if you go with the way I'm telling you to go, it'll take you to the thing you're trying to get to ultimately. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think outside of like being yourself, doing the thing to the fullest, also, you know what I'm saying? What was the last thing I said? I forgot. I blanked out. I can't remember. Brain fart, whatever. Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Interview thing. So yeah, be yourself. Be authentic. Do it to the best of your capabilities. Oh, and prepare. Hone the thing. Hone it. Hone it. Don't like just like, oh, I'm going to do this and then half do it. No, like be intentional. Take time. Study. Look at other people, how they do it. And see how they do it and see what you can do to add to it. Because there's probably 1,000 people trying to do the thing. You know what I'm saying? But if you can put your own spin on it, it makes it your thing. That's why I do the way I do my interviews to raps. How I put my rapping talent with me wanting to know more about whatever people thinking. That's why I put that together. And one last thing I heard somebody say is like there should never be competition. The only reason why there's competition is because people are doing things that everybody else is doing. If you do the thing that you were actually called to do, if everybody did the thing they were called to do, there would actually be no competition. Everybody has their own calling. So I think that's what needs to be the focus. Do your thing to the best of your capabilities, but also hone that thing that you know you need to do to get better at it, so that way you can get the blessing that you've been praying for to begin with. Boom. Mic drop.
All right, y'all. Clixae just ate me up. Just ate it up right there. So, yeah, this is Tyra with 918 Truths. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for everything. Bye.